All right, we are going to start right now. Just to tip things off, our lectures are recorded. I post the recording in the class page. That way, if someone is sick or misses, you don't have to email me saying, what did we do? You can watch the video. So that seems to work well. We also have the option of joining via Zoom because that has the record feature. So I record it like Victoria did. And that way, if you can't make it to campus during a day, you certainly can Zoom in and get your attendance credit. Now, I do take attendance and I do encourage you to come. Not that you're not going to get a good experience via Zoom, but you signed up for a once a week live class. And I think you get a little more attention as a human being by being here rather than being there. Not that we can't work with you, because we certainly can, but some people work really well on the computer. Other people perform better in person. So you do have the option, but we do meet once a week here. Now I'm going to highlight, what do we got here? Let's see the view, see if I can get, there we go. I'm going to share our screen and get to the class homepage. And we're going to go to course home. Now, I said I was recording this orientation, and I am. I will be posting this particular one to YouTube for online people to watch as well. Every other one will be posted in the class. This is going to be posted in the class as well. So if you want to revisit, I wouldn't know why you revisit an orientation, but future lectures, if you want to revisit a section of it, it's easy to. And of course, if you're sick and you can't make it, then you can watch the video and get the information that you missed. So they will be recorded on the Zoom. This one I'm going to post online and send the link to online students as well, because it's earth science. And we cover the same material in the online class as we do in the blended class. You guys just have the benefit of a face-to-face personal meeting every week where they have to watch pre-recorded lectures. So it's a little bit different, but some people prefer the internet. Some people learn better in person. So, but the material is the same. It's earth science. We use all the same tests, all the same quizzes. The due dates are the same. One class doesn't move faster than the other class because I don't personally think that's fair to have a different program, but everyone getting the same credits. So you guys have the exact same program as the online students, just that we have a weekly meeting and they are more on their own. Okay, what I have up on the board here is the class homepage. When you just log in, and when you just log in, you can see here a couple of things. Here's our course schedule right on the opening page. It has our meeting dates. They are not on the online class. They don't meet, but the material is the same. And we have what we're working on for that particular module. It's divided into 3 modules, the midterm, 3 modules, the final. Earth science covers a variety of disciplines. The first half of the semester, we cover geology. So we're looking at rocks, minerals, the layers of the earth, weathering, erosion, earthquakes, things along those lines. The second half of the class After the midterm, we cover special topics in earth science: oceanography, meteorology, astronomy. So the midterm covers the first half of the course. The final only covers the second half. It's not cumulative. And that's a common question. What does the final cover? Only the second half of the class. Now, being this is a blended class, your midterm and final are given via honor line. So you don't come in during midterm week. You don't come in during finals week. You have a flexible schedule. Also, being this is a blended class, your work is turned in online, which gives you a flexible schedule as well. Traditionally, an earth science class would meet Monday, Wednesday, or Tuesday, Thursday, and they would be large blocks of 2 hours and 15 minutes. You would have a lecture and an assignment, and you'd sit here for the whole 2 hours and 15 minutes both days. And if you miss something, you missed out. The blended program, we meet once for approximately an hour to an hour and a half. Okay, so we can cover the material. Then you have the rest of the time to do the work. Same work, but you're not sitting in your seats here doing it. You can leave and you do it, and then you submit it online. So it's the best of both worlds, where if you're just an online student, you don't get the personalized attention that you get, but you have a flexible schedule. The due dates are listed for each module. The orientation, which we will cover today, the material is due 23rd. And then after that, module 1 is due February 2nd. That's all the work for module 1. The rocks and mineral exercises, the natural history of Florida, and the women and minorities discussion, and quiz 1. All that's due that date. You can turn things in early. I caution you, please don't wait till the last minute, because trying to do a bunch of work the last day lowers the quality usually, and also raises the stress level. So I would recommend, do half of it. We meet on Wednesday, do half of it before next Wednesday. That way, if you have any questions, you can raise them up next Wednesday and then do the second half and turn them in. But whatever works for you works for me, as long as your scores are high. You can see here each module has a quiz, and those quizzes, students at home take quizzes, and let's be honest, they use notes. They should not have an advantage over your blended. You can use notes too. Okay, for the quizzes, not for the midterm and the final. Everyone's using these on the midterm and final, and I will be passing these out shortly, our reference tables, and explaining them. But the midterm and final are open tables. Now, if you know how to read these tables, you're going to have about 85% of the questions already answered. But midterm and final are open table. The honor lock already has alerted. You're allowed to have your printed tables. You show the little camera beforehand, and then no worries, use your printed tables. Okay, I've specified they are allowed on that. But for the quizzes, you can use notes. The textbook is online. We've traditionally used buying books, and they cost a lot of money. And I mean, in my day, we read the book, highlighted the book. That's all we had was the book. We didn't have everything at our fingertips. You guys, I'm pre-internet, so that was the way it was. You read the book, you highlighted, and you wrote your own notes out. you guys have the benefit of just about everything at your fingertips within seconds. So our textbooks and our readings come from online sources, which saves you a couple $100 in the end, which can't be. Hi, you can come in. We're good. Thanks. So you save yourself a couple $100 that way. Of course, on your test, we say open book. Well, you can't. It's virtual, so you'll have to take notes. But it's open notes. So you can write down whatever you want, get the notes set up, use them as a resource on your quizzes. And on the midterm and final, you have reference tables open. You can see also on the first page, okay, all the way down, here's all the due dates before the final. So the whole program is mapped out, meeting dates, due date, what's due, and the readings with it. So right on the home page, everything's there. An additional feature on the home page we have is upcoming events. Upcoming events. I put the most current work due. I don't put all of it because then the upcoming events come so big, you can't follow it. So the most current work due I have in the upcoming events, the syllabus quiz, practice test, and then when those are turned in, I'll take the next module and move them into upcoming events. So right on the home page, you have all of your due dates and then a reminder for the next stuff that's due. There. So just logging in, home page. Now with this calendar, you cannot access any assignments. I can't change that. That's just the way the program's written. So to access the syllabus and all the assignments, you have to enter through the course content. The course content. So we'll click on the course content and I'll collapse all. You can see here, I'll go to the table of contents. This should be our page that we have. All the classes, online or you, and as I said, I'm recording this for the online students, have a start here orientation. Start here orientation. This here is my text number. You want to know that. Emails are great. I have two emails. I have a college email address at spc.edu. We have an email through the course. If you send an email to my college email address, I'll get it and I won't have any clue who you are. Because I have other classes and you'll just be a student name and I'll have to close it. And then when I get into classes, I can reopen it and find you and all that. So that's the least efficient way to communicate. Then you have the email within the class, click on communicate, and that's a very efficient way to send an email because I log into the class, I have my emails, I click, there's you, right with the right section number, I can go right to the grade book, I can go right to the material and help you be emailed. So that's far more efficient than the @SPC email. Also, you have a text number, and that is for your use. Make sure you put your name in your class, Earth Science, and write blended or for the onliners, online, and I'll be able to find you. That's for weekend use. Something came up on the weekend, and you want to inform me that someone's very sick or something along those lines. Can I help you? Check to make sure that your equipment's working. It's working. Excellent. Very good. Thank you. So that's for weekends. Your name, class, online or blended. So those are the three ways you can get in touch with me. The checklist of things that you have to do in the orientation, read the syllabus. We're going to go through it. So that'll be checked when you leave here. We'll go through the syllabus. Look through the supplemental materials. That's more for first-time college students, first-time onliners. The supplemental materials here, I'll click on them just to show you what they are. College skills, course learning objections, how to read a textbook, note-taking tips, my course tutorials. So that's more of a first-time college resource center. And if this is your first online class, then I recommend you go through some of that stuff. It'll make your college experience easier. Then the lab agreement. Now we have to submit the lab agreement because this is a C class and you get lab credit for it as well. We're not doing any dangerous chemical labs like microbiology. We're not going to culture bacteria that can make you sick. We're not going to work with caustic chemicals, but it's still required that all students taking a C class fill out a lab agreement. So we'll click on that. Oh, that's the reference tables out. Let me go back to there. I'll hand those out in a moment. The lab agreement form in Dropbox. It's a PDF, so you can print it. Please print it. And this page right here, you need to sign it. Take a picture of it, submit it to the Dropbox. So that's one of your tasks is the lab agreement. The introduce yourself discussion forum is right here. Most discussion forums require 2 postings. Okay, an original post and then a discussion with a peer. And more than just a way to go type discussion, but a relevant discussion. And I don't really count words, but I look for a paragraph or 2. A well-written college level paragraph or 2, not a 1-line. And when it asks for references, provide it. Not all of them will need a reference, but some may. Just provide it. Copy the URL. I use these sites. Put them in there. So, discussion forum. This one is an easy one. Your discussion forum is just tell a little bit about yourself. It's an icebreaker. Syllabus quiz, that is agreeing to the syllabus after we've gone through it. So we're informed. I know that you understand the late policy, you understand tests, quizzes, honor lock, how to get in touch with me. It's just a confirmation that we understand we're on the same page. And lastly, the honor lock practice exam, which I had some early birds try before class started, and it wasn't really linked until class officially started yesterday. So I had to email all my early bird friends that the test wasn't available until the class actually started, because you have to link it to the grade book and to honor lock. And so the semester started, it's available. That is our orientation as far as our first unit and the due date we discussed earlier. At this time, I'm going to pass out your first science reference tables. We saw where you can access them. So folks that didn't come, you can print them out. Or I have a copy for you if you do come. And online students can print them out as well. You'll need, I'm sorry, I didn't make it all the way. You'll need a clean copy of these for your midterm and final. Okay, clean copy. I'm giving you a copy. You can use these as long as you don't write stuff all over. You're more than welcome. Let's have a look at them. Let's stop this share. Let's go to screen share and put the reference tables up. All right, so here's the reference tables. The first is simple percentages of the composition of the spheres of the Earth. So there's no memorizing silly numbers and then spitting them back at me. Most common element on Earth in the crust, oxygen. Easy. So questions like that should be easy. Minerals, one of our first topics, minerals. Here are the major minerals, their properties. So our first lesson next week, we're going to look at minerals and rocks. We're going to go over how to read these. I will pass around some minerals for show, and we will learn about minerals, and then we'll learn about the three types of rocks. The three types of rocks are listed right here: igneous, metamorphic, sedimentary. Here's the composition and types of igneous rock, composition, types of sedimentary, composition, types of metamorphic. So by reading, being able to read these tables, you really don't have to memorize a lot of things. You can get the information by properly reading the table. That's the important thing. More geology. Oh, here's some oceanography. So Earth currents in the ocean. When we get to oceanography, we'll be covering that. Tectonic plates, we'll certainly be covering that with earthquakes and faults. The lithosphere. Geology, there's the history of life on Earth, the eras, eons, and what occurred, major events occurred that time. Properties of Earth's interior, layers of the Earth. And then we'll get into earthquake waves, how to determine the different type of earthquake wave speeds and how far epicenters are. Into the meteorology, we have the dew point, relative humidity, how to convert between the scales of temperature, air pressure, weather map symbols. So we'll be doing weather map reading. Global winds, and then with astronomy, the types of stars and data on the solar system. So this table is going to be used for the whole year. And it will help you a great deal on exams. All right, I'm going to click on a random module just to show you what each module looks like, because they're all set up the same way. Then we'll get into the syllabus, tests, all that stuff. So they're all set up the same way. There's a brief introduction talking about what the module is going to cover. Then you have your assignment checklist. This is the same stuff that's on the schedule, except a little more descriptive, including reading. Read section 4.1, 5.3, 6.1, 6.2, introduction to the geology textbook, chapter on geologic time. Now, these online lectures, These are pre-recorded lectures that I've made. The online, that's all they get. They get pre-recorded lectures. You guys, that's optional for lunch because you're coming in. But they're helpful. They're helpful. I've made online lectures. They're available for you as a supplement. For online, they're required because that's all they get. And then a checklist of what you turn in. Here's the links to the reading assignments. So there's your geology textbook. You can see it's telling you what to read, 1-1, 1-2, 1-6, 4-1, 4, you know, so read what you're required. So all the reading assignments are linked right there. Here's the lectures and notes. This is a helpful feature. Okay. Now the pre-recorded lectures are optional. You don't necessarily have to do them, but here's the notes. So you don't have to sit and take notes every second. Like I said, you're going to be able to use notes on your quizzes. I have highlighted all of the notes, including images from PowerPoints, in a printable Word file that you can download, you can print, and they also, all of the notes have, just like a textbook, they have review questions at the end to help you get ready for the quiz. So this is a feature that's available to you. Every module has the lectures and then notes and then the PowerPoints that we'll be using in class. If you want a copy of the PowerPoint from lecture. So you'll come in, we'll lecture, there'll be PowerPoints. You have access to notes. You can use them on the test, on the quizzes, I should say. You can write on your notes, so you can bring them to class, and they act as your note guide. And then, so that's what class is like. So these notes also have, because the textbook, you know, traditionally you buy a textbook, and you open it up and they have a chapter, at the end they have chapter questions. Well, I give you a printable guide with practice questions at the end. And those practice questions will help you get ready for the quizzes. So they're there. They're there for you. And it makes it a lot easier. So every module has the reading links and then links to lectures and PowerPoint that we will be doing in class and notes. Then you have your assignments. Here you have mineral exercise. Here's your mineral exercise. You have rock exercise. Here's your rock exercise. You have virtual trip run. Here's virtual trip 1, the natural history of Florida. The trip has videos and then a write-up. So let's click on the instructions here. I've tried to make our work interactive. So you'll have a virtual field trip every module. That's going to be a major assignment. This one is the natural history of Florida because one of the topics in Unit 1 is geologic time. So I gear it toward topics. This is visits to the Museum of Natural History in Gainesville, Weed Island Preserve, and Fort DeSoto, historic Fort DeSoto. What you turn in is a cover. That may seem dumb, but really, I want you guys to get into the practice of turning in high quality work. Cover is easy, but still, it makes your submission nice. You should be turning in the best work you can as habit. So on a cover, your name, class, section, perhaps an image or two. Make a nice cover. It makes your work look better. And that counts. Then answer the questions in full sentences, and then a reference page. You see that APA style, that is the accepted style for sciences. There's citation machines that do that for you. If you don't give me references, I'm going to take 10 points off. If you give me improper references, I'll take 5. And if you give me proper references, full credit. Now, reference the videos. You don't have to reference each separate video. Reference the videos is one major reference. And then anything else you use, another reference. If you use images, reference them. But you should always have references crediting the work that you've used. So here's a background on the museum, background on Weeden Island, background on Fort DeSoto. Here are the videos. They are playlists on YouTube. So you would just reference the full playlist. You don't have to reference each individual video. So here you would have at least 2 references because you have 2 playlists. They're fun videos. I've made them over the years. I went to Gainesville, walked around, did videos of all the displays, got the ones that are relevant, and then I made a PowerPoint talking about how Florida formed and all the stages of during geologic time and related it back to the geologic time scale, which we're going to be learning about. So they're fun. They're not hard, but it's interactive. To me, it's better than reading magazine articles and answering questions, or doing footwork and turning it in. You're watching videos, taking a trip, and then the questions are based on the videos here. So every module has a virtual trip to someplace different. So you get to do a lot of traveling in this class too, a lot of traveling. Then here's your discussion forum. Remember, 2, well, actually 3 posts, your original post and 2 responses. Get the and then your quiz, which you may use notes on. Notes are printable. You can add to them by writing them. So every module is the same. We'll go to the midterm review and exam. Here is a movie on how to use reference tables. We're going to be going over that in class, but it's a nice review. It talks about each table and gives examples on how they're used. So that is just a study refresher for all of you. And of course, if you're taking this online, then this is going to be invaluable. Reference tables, again, you can print them. You have them, but those are the ones used on the midterm. You can print them out. The midterm review, which are just questions that are based on the information on the midterm. They're not the exact questions, but they're the exact material. So by doing that, you're studying for the midterm. So it's recommended that you do them and use it as a study guide. And then just like your practice, you see where that extension required honor lock stuff. By then you'll have it, because in the orientation, one of your chores is to install honor lock and take a practice. So it'll be done. The reason we do it during orientation is, if I waited to midterm and 5 students had a hard time installing it, and then it would just wreck their study. They're nervous wrecks. People get nervous over tests. And Why add to the anxiety by having to install and use something you've never practiced at? So the practice is there to relieve anxiety for tests. Because you've done it, you know it's already installed, no chores, just the test. That's why we do the practice. We'll move down and look at extra credit. There is extra credit, and you can earn up to 10 points on your final grade. Not on an exam, not on anything, it's on your final grade, 10 points. So if you have an 88, you have a 98. You got a 83, you have a 93. Add it right to the end. Of course, you got to do a quality job. You can't like turn in rubbish and expect points. But these are due before you take your final exam. Okay? And just like all the other assignments, this one's cool. This one, I took a trip up to the Finger Lakes region and visited a whole bunch of waterfalls and talked about glacial landscapes, because we talk a little bit about glaciers in class. And so this one's a virtual field trip. This one is sketching the El Nino patterns in South America, and coral reef bleaching is the last, which is a link to changing climates and ocean acidity. So there's 3 extra assignments for you to do that you can earn points added to your final grade. When you click on grades, your grade book's going to be different from mine, but there's a grid system. Here's all the assignments and stuff. Let's go back to course content. Let's click on the syllabus, and we'll go through the syllabus. A note, and this is also in the syllabus. I give 10 points worth of extra credit. I drop the lowest quiz. I drop the lowest assignment. This allows you to really get good grades, but it also means I don't take excuses for not having work done on time because I dropped the lowest. So if you miss something, don't come and ask me to make it up. I'm not going to let you make it up. I dropped the lowest. You didn't do it. It's a 0. You have 2 weeks per unit. If you waited until the last day and didn't get it done and something came up, I mean, come on. You have 2 weeks. Don't wait till the last day. Obviously, if you have an extended illness, a family member has an extended illness, there's a death in the family, you tell me, and I'll extend it. Of course. I'm only, everyone has these moments in life that go beyond everything. But seriously, if you get called into work and you didn't get your work done, I dropped the lowest, and I got 10 points extra credit. So go to work, make your money, drop the ones you miss. But let's be real. It's not a life-changing incident. It's a little extra in the pay bucket, which is a good thing. But that's why I dropped the lowest, and that's why I give extra credit. That's so really a real emergency. I will always give you a day or 2. But it has to be a real emergency, not just I waited to the last minute and I had a cold and I didn't feel good, so I stayed in bed. You know what I'm saying. Communicate with me. Again, here's my cell number for texting. No textbook. That's great. There's the lecture series. I showed you every module has links. I put the links in the syllabus as well. You can't have too many links, but everything's accessible. The proctored testing, academic calendar links are there for important dates. Attendance. Okay, attendance. If you complete the orientation module, you will get attended both week 1 and week 2. You've done your job. So you got to do a little more than just being here because you have work to do. So when you get that done, attendance good. Midterm and final, the science department decided that proctored exams have to account for at minimum 40% of your grade. So all science classes, not all classes in SBC, just all science classes are determined by that. So it is what it is. Tests are relatively high stakes. Now, that means, but you can earn 10 extra points by extra credit. So it's not like you can perform less than desirable on a test, have all your other work good, get extra credit, and still get a power grade. But it was a departmental mandate that that's what tests count as. Now remember, you may use these on your test. That should help you out a lot. Again, makeup work, we have to agree upon it due to medical or family emergency because I dropped the lowest and you can earn 10 points. But really, and this is the truth, hundreds of students take earth science every semester. I have hundreds get A, B, or C, and 4 or 5 don't pass. And all 4 or 5 have the same thing in common. A ton of zeros. Like a ton, like 8, 9, 10 zeros. If you do your work, put forth the effort and ask questions when you don't know anything, when you don't know something, you don't know anything, but when you don't know something, you'll get an A or B. It's not hard. I purposely made it not hard. You'll learn your earth science, and you'll learn about, many of you, keeping deadlines, getting your work in on time and coming to class regularly. But if you do your job, you're going to get a fine grade. It's not hard class as in calculus or, organic chemistry, where you have to learn things that are very, very complex. So really, it should be, with the proper effort, an A or a B and help your Q. There's no reason why. I've had 100% pass rate in classes before, and that's a rarity, but those people all did their work. So it's not a difficult class if you do your work and keep up with things. When you fall behind, it becomes difficult. As far as contacting me on the weekends, you have my text line. I'll get back to you sometime during the day, unless it's at night, sometime back during the next day. But I'm not in a rush. It's the weekend for me. The weekend. I don't make work due on the weekends because then I have to rush. If you've got a deadline on a Sunday night, and you text me on Sunday, you deserve an answer back on Sunday. Because you got a deadline. If it's due on Wednesday and you text me Sunday and it's not an emergency, I might wait till or better. I wake up the next day, if it's not an emergency. I'll always respond, but I might say, well, I'll get back to I'll get to you when I get to the office and I have a chance to go through it. So I don't make the work due on the weekends because it's not fair to force you to work on the weekends and then while lollygagging, playing fish or playing with my grandbabies or whatever, you know what I mean? I will get back to you within 24 hours, except on the weekends. If it's not important, I'll get back to you Monday morning. Now I have a strange schedule. I am in Tarpon Springs for office hours on Mondays. I teach a field class on Tuesdays. So I'll be at Fort DeSoto, different parks, things like that. I'm on Seminole campus Wednesdays. And then Thursdays, I'm in another field class, North County field class. So I'm on campus every Wednesday. So if you need me personally, Wednesdays are the day for me meeting because I'm off in the field the other days. But I don't anticipate any issues where we have to get together on non-class time. But if so, Wednesdays is my seminal day. I'm like the Jimmy Buffett of professors. I'm traveling. I'm at the beach for marine biology. I'm at Weeden Island doing mangrove studies, things like that, because my specialty is marine science and oceanography. Now, that is one of the special topics in earth science, and I am more than qualified to teach geology, meteorology, because I've studied that stuff in grad school. But really, most of my work revolves around marine biology. And then I do teach 2 field marine biology classes, and that's why we meet all over town. So that's why I'm at Fort DeSoto's on Tuesday. I might be at Weeden Island on Thursday. Then there's some nice springs up in Palm Harbor. Now, my the students are meeting and we're doing field work. So Wednesday is my seminal day, and Monday is my Tarpon Springs day. Again, just this is another copy of the schedule. Office hours. Here are my office hours. Beautiful. I have to download it. That's another annoying thing about the this program. This D2L. Let's stop the share here. Head to share screen. Nope, that's not the one I wanted. Is pictures don't show up unless you download. So all right, good. So here's my office schedule available on the syllabus. You can see Tarpon Springs Monday, field trips Tuesday, Seminole Wednesday, field trips Thursday. I'm available for virtual work Monday and Wednesday. You can call me or text me at that time. Yes, ma'am.
So those classes Mondays and Wednesdays, Mondays to like on the Zoom link?
No, Mondays, it's only Wednesdays.
Okay.
This class, you are required to meet with me every Wednesday at 10 o'clock, either Zoom or in person. Okay, that's your big requirement with me. The other days, you're required to get the work done that's in each module. Okay, so we meet once a week. Wednesday is our designated meeting time. 10 o'clock, right in the seat you're in, or through the website. That was a good question. They're not clear about the schedules when it comes to blended. Blended means that you get your weekly lecture, but part of the class is online. So it's kind of like, you know, a regular lecture, you come both times and you sit in your seat and you do your work. Online, it's all on the computer. A blended is half and half. You come for some time and then you do work at your own pace and then you come. So our meetings are once a week. Okay? Are there any other questions? Are you sure? Because that's all my orientation. you have orientation work that's due. 4 things to do. Post, sign the lab agreement, syllabus quiz, set up and take the practice honor lock test. So you have 4 things to do. And one last, what is the due date? Let's look right at the home page for a second. Back to the screen share. Back to the syllabus. The 18th. Nope, that's when we meet. The 23rd. There we go. The 23rd. So this is due by the 23rd to get those 4 things done that are due. Lab agreement, syllabus quiz, honor lock practice, introduction discussion. Next Wednesday, we will be lecturing on rocks and minerals. You'll be responsible to do the work in that conference. Okay? You know, that really helped out your question. I do appreciate it. Because a lot of times students at first get confused on when we're going to meet.
Yeah.
So we're Wednesday, that's us. Monday, you work on your own. Okay? Are there any other questions? Well then, at this time, I guess class is dismissed. Have a great rest of your week. Have a great first week back at school. And don't forget to get that stuff in for me. Text me if you have problems with honor lock. But I don't work for honor lock. So if there's bad things afoot, you may have to contact honor lock. I've helped you the best I can, but it may come to go to their website and get their help. Okay? The 2 guys who came in late, just give me 1 second. I'm going to say goodbye to my people at home. Goodbye, people at home. And end the meeting.